You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to have this Ponderosa live. Yeah. I felt like, you know what? Let's have a live discussion about what went down last night on the episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16. We're talking about episode 13, chapter 1, Reset. All right. I'm going to read you guys the description while we wait for a couple more people to get into the room. Porsha and Drew finally sit down, hoping to resolve their issues and move forward. Kelly gets unexpected news about her soon-to-be ex-husband. Seeking a fresh start, the women head to Grenada for a much-needed getaway to reset, renew, and rebirth. Now, we all know that these cast trips, they never are resetting. They're never about rebirth. They're never about renewal, okay? They are simply about creating chaos, all right? And, you know, we're here for it. I'm always here to discover new places that I should be traveling to myself, all right? So make sure you guys listen. If you are new here, let us know where you're watching from in the chat. I want to see where all of my people are from. What's going on? A lot of Team Drew in the building. A lot of Team Drew in the building. Oh, we got some Team Porsha too. We got some Team Porsha. All right, so let's put this out there early in the game. I want to know, first things first, I'm going to put y'all comments on the screen. What does that mean? Okay, that means that you can't say nothing crazy. You say something crazy, I got to automatically eject you from the room. Like ejecting you from the plane, you got to go. Okay, so I'm trusting you, my faithful squad, to know how to act. All right, to know how to act. All right. I want to know in the chat if you guys are Team Drew or if you are indeed Team Porsha after last night's episode. Maybe not even after last night's episode, maybe even before last night's episode. But I think it definitely bears a discussion after last night. All right? After last night. So before we get into some of y'all saying neither. I see a lot of Team Drew in the building. Team Drew. Got some Team Porsha. Got some Team Porshas in here. Don't make me call Porsha. What up, though, boo? What up? All right. I'm gonna tell you guys who I think won the episode last night, but at the end of the day, I can't. To me, this is a fun, interesting beef because I find Porsha to be very funny, right? And it is because she is so comical that I feel like that is the reason why she can get away with a lot of stuff. Because some of the stuff that she be saying don't always make sense to me. And I know on her live last night, and I did watch most of it this morning, that she does say that she's coming to the reunion because the reunion is filming, I think, this Thursday. She does acknowledge that. The reunion is filming and she is promising to bring truth. Okay. Truth. And she does say that a lot has been left out of, context for her story and what she is saying, not only because of the Simon aspect, but I think also to the situation with Dennis and Drew. The situation with Dennis and Drew would have been better to me if it had stuck to the fact that you feel like Drew broke the girl code for your friendship by filming with Dennis after you asked Dennis not to film, right? So some of that onus has to go on to Dennis, right? But because we all know that you guys did not have a chance to really talk, you and Drew, it almost kind of makes it feel like, well, girl, you had every opportunity in the world to talk to Drew. You came into the season guns blazing. And then every time afterwards, when there was an opportunity to have a conversation for, I don't know, 12 episodes, we've really kind of avoided having the real conversation that the two of you guys have needed to have up until this particular episode here. Okay. When we finally get a sit down ponderosa between the two of them. I say it all the time about these shows. Do not hate or do not devalue the one-on-one sit down. The one-on-one sit down is where it is at. We can point back to so many iconic moments on so many different shows where the one-on-one sit down really kind of either escalated or maybe de-escalated the situation, as was the case with Shamea and Porsha. Although I still think that they were skimming the surface of what it is that is going on with their friendship, at least for now, they are both determined to present a united front. We can't say the same thing for Drew and Porsha because what we now know, I don't know if you guys have seen, it's an interview that Drew has done on her page, and she's saying she's done with Porsha, right? She says she's done with Porsha in real time, but on Porsha's channel, she asserts that she doesn't have issues with anybody. But this is the same Porsha that says that her issues with Dennis and Drew are at a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. Girl, it's been given a 20 for most of the season. And to go back to what I was saying earlier, this would have been a much better story. Not Dennis. Yes. By Ashy. That's what we got by Ashy. When we got a one-on-one sit down, and it happened immediately, right? Porsha and Kenya had the event that Porsha had back in the day. They sat down. It wasn't long afterwards. It wasn't weeks and weeks and weeks. It was like literally maybe an episode or 2 later at the most, I think. Lisa, Nicole, and Quad. What about your lesbian lover? Oh my God. Not what about your lesbian lover? And then she gonna basically slap Quad across the face with a glass of water. Not Dennis getting first chair at the reunion, baby. Listen, okay. Whew. Thank you for that super chat, boo. At this point, I feel like Drew need to get first chair at the reunion. I mean, I mean, am I wrong or am I wrong? I would have went into this season thinking it was going to be Porsha and Shamea getting the first chairs. Now I'm almost feeling like it needs to be Porsha and maybe either Angela or Drew. If it ain't Drew, it definitely needs to be Angela. If it ain't Angela, it definitely needs to be Drew. Period. Point blank and all right? But again, Porsha would have been better just simply saying that, girl, it bothered me that you're filming with my baby daddy, my baby's father, while I'm trying to develop a healthy co-parenting relationship with him. I don't want to bring him on this show. And I feel like what you were doing is like, it's like breaking the code for me as a friend. But it is the extra added layer of Dennis or Drew wanting to sleep allegedly. Let me put the alleged badge up here because I don't want nobody, the people. So It is this idea that Drew allegedly wants to sleep with Dennis for beats. She wants to bop for beats. I am not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying what anybody is selling on that front. I do not get the general sense that, Drew wants Dennis. And even if she did, what of it, Porsha? Because you're not with him. You are divorcing an entirely new person, for which, at the end of the day, I mean, should that not be taken up more of your concern? And you can't pay me to believe that you think that Drew and Dennis are bopping for beats. I just don't feel like that's not real to me. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense. So I think if it had been left to that, then we wouldn't have had this conversation where now we're forced to talk about two other men that Drew and Porsha are allegedly sleeping with. One of them being some man named Black. Who is Black? Who is he? He's not able to be, we're not able to show a photo of him. Porsha lets us know in the episode that she heard this tea from Dennis. So if you heard the tea from Dennis about Drew allegedly sleeping with Black, then why would you even think, if Dennis is telling you that Drew is sleeping with Black, why is it that you would think that Dennis and Drew, or that Drew was trying to bop Dennis for beats? It don't make sense. Unless you found out about it after confronting Dennis, and Dennis said, no, me and Drew weren't trying to bang. Drew is banging Black, allegedly. Right? But even then, you've still teeter-tottered with this Drew and Dennis boinking for beats. So because you've been toying with it all season, even got Shamea wrangled up into it. But Shamea, to be fair, said she heard it from the streets. Okay, I'm not sure if it was the same street that Porsha heard it from, but it sounded like it might have been. Okay. There's that. All right, let's start there. To me, that's where this whole situation kind of is crazy to me. There were, to me, I'm going to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. I would love for you guys to rate it as well. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this episode, my first reaction, I'm going to give it, I want to give it a 9. What's keeping me from giving it a 9? Because I'm going to have to give it an 8.5. I enjoyed the episode. Oh, God. Oh, God. Y'all's a hard crowd, baby. Y'all's a hard crowd. I can absolutely 100% confirm that it is not that person. It is not him. I know him personally. It ain't him. Okay. Is that shade, Phaedra? I mean, y'all are coming through. A 3. Linda said a 3. Girl, did you even enjoy it? Did you Linda, and you enjoyed the commercials more than you enjoyed the show? And I swear if I see that Phaedra snapped chip Cheez-It commercial one more time during the episode, I am going to scream. Okay. I'm tired of it. Why didn't y'all film at least 4 versions of that same commercial so she can have something else to do? I'm sick and tired of it. It just further reiterates this idea and it rehearses her reads. And I don't want that in my mind, right? Because that's the kind of premise of the commercial. But anyway, yeah, something is preventing me from giving it a 9 because I actually did enjoy it. I thought it was fun. There were fun moments. Just to give you some, it's a shame that I have to illustrate these fun moments on the screen. But since Bravo does a pretty nifty job of this, you had these little moments with Cynthia. Obviously, the most fun moments I think came from Cynthia. Some a little hee hee ha ha. I didn't quite get this shade coming from Phaedra about Angela and her face, because I don't feel like Angela looks that old to me. I mean, and granted, this is a beauty aesthetic, maybe. I really don't know. But it is odd coming from Phaedra in this moment as she is dressed like Morticia Adams. So now, granted, it's fun shade, I suppose, supposedly. But at the end of the day, it's also like, do y'all think that woman looks old in the face? I don't feel like she looks old in the face. I don't think she looks 60. I don't think she looks 60 like that. I don't. I think Angela looks good. You know, it is what it is. But it was just odd hearing this coming from Phaedra as she's dressed like Morticia Adams. Like, what? What? Okay. I did chuckle. I'm not gonna lie. I chuckled, not gonna lie. Now, this is what I wanted to point out to you guys. This to me is oh my God. I got to make this bigger. Brit girl, you are in danger. You are in danger. When they equate you, and the funny thing is, Britt and Brittany from two different shows, two different new girls, two different moments that are very similar. Okay? But when they equating you to this Brittany, girl, you in danger. You are in danger. You are in danger. Because what that is, for those of you guys that don't watch Salt Lake City, Brittany was always making these moments that amounted to nothing. They were like mountains of nothingness. Okay? Mountains of nothingness. Mountains of nothing. So they were all, be going around the table, hashing out issues. She comes ding, ding, ding-a-ling on that glass. I have an announcement to make, guys. I'm back together with Jared. Girl, we knew you ain't broke up with him in the first place. Okay? So when the moment felt odd to me with Britt because as the girls are all hashing out these issues amongst themselves, I really feel like production. Did y'all set Britt up like this? I feel like y'all must have set her up. Somebody must have said, "Ooh, girl, you better let Phaedra know you invited Apollo." For me, this moment with Britt came across odd to me. And I feel like it was almost like, girl, what are we talking about right now? We trying to resolve issues amongst each other. You bringing up Apollo and you rooming. The problem is you rooming with Phaedra. So it would have been more appropriate for you to have had that conversation with Phaedra while y'all was in the room trying to look across the way at the man and his Jenga lane. You know what I'm saying? Y'all so busy checking out his Jenga lane, you should have been telling her then, girl, you know what? I gotta tell you, I gotta be upfront and honest with you. I want to have a moment. I just want to get this out of my system. My husband had invited your ex. I didn't want you to hear about it from nobody else but me. That would have been a better moment to do this than at that table. And I get it. Maybe she wanted to work it and be seen. Okay. But this was not the moment to do it. Okay. Not the moment. And then I'm just, Bravo done just, they just didn't set you up, girl, with this one. The two Brits. Phaedra does deliver some, Phaedra is funny. I'm not, we can't deny Phaedra's, she's hilarious. I mean, she's good confessional. She's good in the moment. This sit down to me was everything. Perfect sit down. We'll come back to that. This was actually a funny moment too. I literally want her to marry Dennis and do Pilar's baby hair. But girl, like when she did bring up Pilar and paying for her college, you definitely ain't like it. Cynthia, yet again, coming through with being the perfect friend to the show. You know, I just feel like it was just good. It was good times, good energy. I do want to bring up this because I happened to see this, and I don't know if you guys. This is another reason I wanted to go live because I really didn't get this moment, and maybe you got it. But this was a moment. Somebody said this: Kelly has so much to say about Porsha and her family, but she missed the first day of her daughter's school just to be on a girls' trip. Now, this is something that Porsha reposted. Shout out to the reality entertainment TV for capturing this moment. And I wanted to ask you because I might miss some things, right? I might miss some things. Was there something that Kelly said about Porsha and her family? I don't recall it. I really don't. Somebody let me know if you caught it, but I didn't. But I will say this. I mean, you got to be on the trip. She's hosting the trip. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point. So I guess I need to go back and understand what Kelly said for me to really get the reference for what, I mean, people are going to have to miss stuff. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. I mean, I don't know what was said, so I can't really speak to this all that much. So let's get into the episode itself because we've talked a lot about a lot of my feelings, about a lot of your feelings about it. I want to go run through some of the scenes real quick. Um, you know, this scene right here was a long time coming. I feel like back in the days, as we stated earlier, the one-on-one sit down would have happened much sooner. And again, it would have made for a much more dynamic season because maybe we would be on to some other issue right now, right? But this sit down for me, Porsha was totally in the wrong. That's just my opinion. I feel like she was totally in the wrong. She did not do a very good job of conveying the points of why she was upset with Drew. And I feel like Drew had been Drew Drew Porsha was finally ready for a sit down, but Drew was ready for Porsha. Personally. I feel like I don't expect I personally don't have the expectation that a reality TV star will be right all the time because I feel like that's not why we watch the show. I don't watch for everybody to be right because I understand reality shows work better when somebody is wrong and they stand 10 toes down on it. I respect that a lot more. But I just don't understand Porsha's stance. I really don't. And so as she's bringing up, this idea that Drew is dating some guy named Black, it didn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. So when Drew references, and we could tell that she said future, when Drew references, oh, well, we could talk about you, dating future. I felt like that was, I mean, okay, it was tit for your tat, right? You coming for me, I'm coming for you. You say I hung out with your husband. I was working with, no, not your husband, excuse me, your baby's father. Okay, they didn't get married? No. So I think that for Drew, the difference is you got your lick back by meeting up with Ralph, but me and Ralph are currently in a contentious, I say contentious divorce. The problem with even that, though, is we all have sometimes a hard time navigating the Drew and Ralph divorce because sometimes their divorce feels like, are y'all really getting like it's something about it feels off to me, but I can't really. It is what it is. I'm just following the story for at this point, but it would be like then if Drew wanted to go meet up with Simon. I think Porsha would understand then. Okay, like, oh, this is now that is tit for tat. All right, because Drew is currently in a contentious situation with Ralph and they have to live together. So, she knows that there's no other reason for Porsha and Shamea to be meeting with Ralph other than to talk about Drew, which they did. So if Drew then wanted to go meet with Simon, Porsha would lose her mind. She would. Ooh. Ooh, Angela coming through with the with the timeline. And I felt like as Drew was standing up for herself, I think that Porsha got frustrated because the conversation didn't go in the way that she wanted it to go. I think that she came with a scenario where she thought she was going to drop a bomb, but Drew also had some arsenal in her bag, in her Louis Vuitton tote bag too. Okay? So she was like, "Okay, girl, I got you. You want to say I'm dating Black, whoever he is? Well, girl, the streets say you dating Future. Next, what up? What up, though? Explain to me why you mad at me for real. Because I know you don't think I'm sleeping with your ex." And so, poof, vamoose, Porsha disappears. Porsha got to running. Well, you know what? It's not going to work for me. I don't want to. You're okay. Okay, fine. You're not going to do this today. We're not going to do this today. And I'm like, no, Porsha, let's go. This was, I mean, you can't get to running every time somebody confronts you about something. But the funny thing about this that was the funny thing. As this conversation is happening, I am confusion about something else. I'm confusion because at this point, was Drew not barred from doing Go Naked? Was she not like unresigned from doing Go Naked? So because she tags Go Naked, she tags Go Naked in the photo post. In the same photo, either this is genius or something in the Milk and Clean. Okay. Either it's genius that you wear her hair to confront her while at the same time snatching Shamea's wig in a nasty gram post. But to be fair, she did so after Shamea talked about her like a dog, quote unquote. Okay. No pun intended. All right. On the radio for calling her a lap dog. I do want to take y'all back in your memory banks. If you will recall, Lapdog Drew did not initiate Lapdog for Shamea. Kenya actually initiated the word lapdog for Shamea seasons ago. Drew and Angela have just picked it up. Okay? Remember, go back in your memory banks. And Kenya called her a lapdog to her facial. I don't know if y'all remember. Go back all the way back. All right. Now, if indeed this was Drew's goal, was to say, I'm going to show up in the scene in your hair that you told me I could no longer be an ambassador for. And as I'm arriving or as I'm leaving, because you gone, because she ran out, because Porsha ran out, I'm going to take a picture in your hair. I'm gonna tag your hair, and I'm gonna shade your best friend down to the ground at the same dang on time. Now I don't know if she really worked it like that, but if she did, it was either genius or this was all a scheme to promote Go Naked Hair. I don't know. But this is from that same time frame. This is that same scene. I remember this because I remember talking about this story when it came out. So of course I had to go back to this photo. I love a callback. I love a full circle moment, you know. Hey boo. So just to go, I just want to reiterate, but you know, clearly we are washing the past away, because if Shamea can be cool with Phaedra, then I definitely feel like she didn't probably let that lapdog comment go from Kenya. So probably want to let it go with Drew now too. All right. Kelly meets with her team. Her friend Lamont goes back and has a conversation with her ex, which goes nowhere. I mean, I ain't nobody's daddy, but if you got 4 kids or at least 3, however many he had with Kelly, specifically the husband, the ex-husband, and you can't even, you're not gonna be there for your kids. That's some work right there. That is some. I don't really got no words for people or respect for people like that. That just is weird to me. But okay, Kelly, uh, hats off to you. Okay, hats off to you. All right, so it's time for the girls to go to Grenada. You know, Drew yet again seems like she's on a different show. It's so interesting to me. Um, I'm not sure how many flights they had to take to get to Grenada. I would have assumed it would have been a direct flight. So how is it that Shamea's luggage is left at the Atlanta? I mean, I just that's confusing to me. I want to know what airline that was. Um Phaedra wants to know who the beef is with everybody in her car when they get to Grenada. She's in the car with Angela, Drew, and Cynthia. Angela kindly tells her that Drew is the drama. Phaedra knows very little about Drew except for the odd outfit, and the fact that she was in some black movies. Yeah, the blacks. It's, you know, Drew's in the black movies. I was like, Phaedra, you black. Okay. Did what did you that that yeah, Drew's in the black movies. Um you know, chuckle, chuckle, laugh, laugh. I was like, girl, what? Um, I don't know. I mean, there was some shade tossed in there, but I just thought that to me just, I don't know why that rubbed me the wrong way, but it did. I was like, what? Okay. She was the child actor. Was she in the Soul Train? Okay. Girl, what? You are not that removed from black culture, babes. Okay. uh okay. Meanwhile, you know, the girls, when they get to the house, They decide that they're going to play a game with the rooms. You know, for me, I get that the room assignments are intended to usually cause a little bit of drama and chaos, but at our big ages, I don't really, unless I specifically want to room with a person, don't put me in a room with nobody else. Now, I understand that these ladies had suites, so that's a little different. So they're not just in the same room with each other, but Drew and Cynthia end up getting the short end of the stick. Drew arm wrestles Cynthia for the room with the bigger bed. Drew, being the full-time housewife, should have taken that room. But she was kind enough, because Cynthia is a much taller woman, to give Cynthia the king-size bed. Cynthia is getting all of the accommodations and accoutrements of a full-time housewife on a friend salary. Cynthia delivers quite a bit more than some of the rest of these ladies are doing, which is very, very interesting to me. I would love to see where she comes in next season. She'll probably do another friend role next season, because I think she would prefer to be able to be in and out. But I just feel like, Drew, girl, like, don't be giving up your spot so easily. Like, especially when you ain't seen the room. You yet again in another room with a twin bed. That ain't got to feel nice. And you are right now currently doing the most work, defending yourself, fighting for your life in every scene with these ladies, period. All right. We do learn a little bit more about Cynthia and her new man, Amsterdam. Not much to say about that, really. What's going on, CJ? How you doing? Yeah, I feel like we see a lot more Cynthia than we see a Brit. So it's time for the group dinner. You know, the Ponderosa, the part of the episode where everybody gets together, the girls all gather, and there's always going to be some type of, oh my God, we've got to get to the root of our issues, Jackie Christie style, right? So Kelly, being one of the hostesses with the mostesses, wants to do some resetting and renewal. First things first on the list is Shamea and Drew. Here it is yet again where I do feel like, I do think that Drew was the initial wrong person in this situation, because when she said, yeah, this could pay for Pilar's college, I don't know how she thought that was going to ever sound right. Or I don't know why she ever thought that she could say it out loud and that Shamea would not go back and say something. But I don't feel like Shamea was a lapdog for telling Porsha that. I think she was trying to be a good friend. Where Shamea lost me was last week. The moment that she was like, arf, 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 kiss my mother, like, it was like, oh, Shamea, what are we doing? Good heavens. Good heavens, no. No, ma'am. This is your opportunity to show us your shade savagery. But not when somebody calls you a lapdog, you start barking like one. No, ma'am. This is not coming to America. All right? What are we doing? So when Drew drops the odd, a hit dog will holler, I'm in my living room hollering like out loud, because I don't even know that Drew knew what she was saying in that moment, because you're yet again calling the girl a dog. And it was perfect timing. Whether Drew knew it or not, I don't know. If Drew might be smarter than all of us combined at this point, because the things that she is doing in this episode, if you are catching what she's doing, it is hilarious to me. From wearing Porsha's hair to the confrontation after you've been fired as a brand ambassador, snapping the photo in real time on social media, shading the same girl best friend that you just confronted and had running up out the scene, shading her back from what she said to you before on the radio without really us knowing the context of it. The camera's having to go back, okay? Now we got to go back and look at the frames again because we got to see, oh snap, she did all of this and she did all of that. Then the hit dog will holler. You called the girl a dog again to her face in front of the group. To me, and I don't know if Drew knows what she's doing, but the irony of her timing is so crazy to me, right? It's these little nuggets that I feel like if left unnoticed, you won't really get Drew, or you won't really understand the magic of what she's doing. Right. It was like, as Shamea's defending herself from someone calling her a lap dog, and Drew says a hit dog will holler. I don't think that in that moment Drew knew what she was saying was going to exacerbate the situation and make it worse. I just thought it was. I just felt like Drew. Yes, you get the MVP this episode. Period. Pooh. And I don't even know if she knew what she was doing. And then Kelly announces to the group that Drew is the person that has an issue with everyone. She does? Because Kelly, to me, I think that Kelly, you have issues with people by proxy. You have an issue with Drew by proxy of Shamea. You had an issue with Angela by proxy with Britt. Your issues have never given real issues with anybody. Personally, at least not yet. I mean, so when you say that Drew's the only person she doesn't have an issue with is Cynthia, she doesn't have an issue with Angela. She doesn't have an issue with Phaedra. She doesn't actually have an issue with you. She doesn't have an issue with Britt. The only two people she's had issues with have been Shamea and Porsha at this point. So I'm not understanding this worldwide issue with Drew, because I don't even know what your issue with Drew is. For real. Like, I don't even think y'all know each other that well, to be honest with you. I don't even think you know her well enough to have an issue with her. I don't even know that I've seen the two of you guys sit one-on-one together. I've seen you in like a little 3-person scene, but not really that. I mean, so I don't understand what that's given for me. But okay. So Drew again, then so it comes up about about Porsha, and it was about taking things back, and Phaedra asks correctly, right? How are you guys going to think that you can have a conversation about Porsha and Shamea not say something? And then it turns into the issues that Shamea has with Porsha. And Angela's like, well, y'all two have issues, right? These are things that Shamea brought to us. And Shamea's like, no, girl, I didn't bring those up. Y'all are asking me these issues. Porsha is finally like, no, girl, we deaded that situation. It's a wrap. And so Kelly's like, well, do you think you've been a good friend to Shamea? Porsha's like, I'm not answering that question because we have already hashed out our issues and we're not going to go back down this road. This is enough to make Shamea feel as though Porsha is finally sticking up for their friendship. We have a super chat here. The manufactured beef with Drew is draining and lowbrow. Phaedra's city girl antics don't hit like the Southern Belle persona we grew to love. Recast. Ooh, you just went down the line, maybe. You just went down the line. Phaedra's city girl antics don't hit like the Southern Belle persona we grew to love. Oh. 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 Was that shade, Phaedra? Baby, if Drew had said you're barking up the wrong tree, I think that the entire table would have fell out. Okay. The entire table. And she would have been right. She would have been right. You're barking up the wrong tree. So anyway, it finally comes down to Porsha versus Drew again. And Porsha finally admits that she didn't handle their first interaction in the first episode all that well. Can y'all hear me? Okay. The visual went out again for some reason. The visual went out. We can't be having that. Internet provider, and don't do it to me today. Norman, what's going on with the internet? What you mean you don't know? Fix it. Anyway. Anyway, Drew, this was not an apology. It really wasn't. Like, I don't remember one I'm sorry in that conversation. So then Drew admits, well, yeah, I could have handled this situation with Dennis a little bit better, but they also kind of discuss how it looked with Dennis working with Drew on this show, which should have been the issue that she stuck with. And then Drew wants to know, well, how does it look if I would have said that you were sleeping with Ralph because you met with him? It doesn't look good, does it? And I got the fact, to me, I felt like Drew was over Porsha at that point. I feel like Porsha realized that she didn't really have a real enough issue with Drew to continue this beef. So I feel like she just kind of let it go. That's how I feel, to be honest with you. If you wanted to, this whole thing with Porsha would have made so much more sense if she just stuck with, girl, I don't want you filming with my baby daddy, and I have a right to feel like that. That would have been great. But to now throw in this black guy, to throw in this, and I don't mean black guy like black movie, Phaedra. I mean the black guy, the guy named Black. To throw Black in there, whoever he is, randomly if you knew all this, why would you even let this whole story about Dennis and Drew percolate in the first place? Makes no sense to me. So now we've got to deal with a man named Black, and now we've got to deal with Future. Okay? I don't get it, but it doesn't make sense to me. Now, again, listen. For me, I don't understand Porsha's logic or her thought process, but she's funny to me. So I feel like she can get away with a lot because she's also funny, right? She's able to laugh at herself. She's able to, but this Drew thing is exhausting, and it needs to end, right? Simply because we as an audience don't understand what all the hatred and vitriol is. Not really hatred, because I don't really feel like it's hatred, but I don't understand what the ladies while they're all dogpiling on top of Drew for, it doesn't make any sense to me. So y'all let me know in the chat what you think will happen next. I'm very interested to find out what happens at this reunion. I want to see the seating chart for this because, like I said, I feel like this is very different from what I initially thought it should be. I definitely feel like Angela or Drew needs that first chair. Obviously, Porsha's going to get the other. I feel like I think that's just a given. I feel like the network loves her. I feel like they might even put Phaedra second. I could see them putting Porsha, Phaedra, maybe Shamea, Kelly. And then on the other side, oh, this is a tough one. Ugh. Yeah, on the other side, Angela. Oh God, this is tough because I don't know where they're gonna put Britt. Ooh. Mm. What do y'all think? I'm trying to line them up. Okay, obviously. Now, I'm just trying to think of what makes the most sense. Porsha, Phaedra, Britt, Cynthia. Drew, Angela, Shamea, Kelly. Boom. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Porsha, Phaedra, Britt, Cynthia. On one side. In my mind, this is how I would set it up. Drew, Angela, Shamea, and Kelly on the other side. And the reason I say they're going to probably put Phaedra second is because they have been relying on Phaedra and they've been building up to Phaedra. Even when asked about Kenya, Andy was not deflecting, but deferring to, let's get this. I'm just waiting on Phaedra to show up, right? I don't think that they're going to put Phaedra at the end. I could be wrong, but I don't think that they're going to do that. I think that they want, they're banking on Phaedra, and they're not going to put Phaedra at the end. I just don't see it. They didn't even put her on the end. Yeah, I just don't see them putting her on the end. I can see, and the reason I can see Phaedra, I see Porsha, Phaedra, and Britt, because they've already done the after show together. We know that they get along. Cynthia also gets along with Britt. Cynthia gets along with everybody, so she's probably the best person to put beside Britt because Britt is also now beefing. It looks like the whole other side of the couch don't like Britt. Like from Drew to Angela to Shamea to Kelly, they're not feeling Britt. So you got to put Britt on the same side with Porsha and Phaedra and Cynthia. That's the only way it makes sense. Now, because Shamea and Drew haven't been getting along, you don't want to put them beside each other. It seems like Shamea and Angela are okay. So, but I wouldn't put Shamea at the end because Kelly is newer. So I will put Kelly at the end. And I'll put Drew first, then Angela in between Drew and Shamea, and that's how it should go. That's my thought. But that's just me. Anyway, yes, y'all, hit that like button. Hit that like button. It's about 788 of y'all in here right now, and I need to see 788 likes, baby. Hit that like button. All right, y'all. So listen, that's my thoughts on the Real Housewives of the Atlanta. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. I am still trying to a couple of things real quick before I go. All right, so working on book 3, trying to finish that up for you guys. I'm estimating November, December to have it out because it does take a little bit of time to have it edited as well. So it's a lot of work behind the scenes, and I'm just, working my hardest. So that's number 1. So book 3 out by the end of the year, if not January. So I'm going to say like November, December, January. That's the time frame that I'm looking at. Cover is done, so that's all good. I can actually probably put it up for Amazon for pre-order, but I got to figure that whole situation out with the distribution. So just be on the lookout for that. So just wanted to update you guys on that. I think that you're right, Neek. I think that Andy's interaction with Britt will give us insight as to whether she returns next season. I do see her returning because I'm not one of those people that dislikes Britt. I just don't. I'm not that guy. I think that the situation was mishandled. I think that there was a better way to handle it all around. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm kind of like, this is what we got. This is what we're working with. So I'm like, let's roll with it. Period. Now, I am worried about Drew. Fall winner. I am worried about Drew. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below if you're watching this video later. And I will, of course, catch you guys in the next video.